Welcome back to the Dune Cast Part 2. Let's go.
May my knife chip and shatter, boys. May my knife chip and shatter. Welcome back to episode. We're just in the thick of Dune Part 2. We'll have the link to the first one down in the description below. You can check that out. But we're just gonna dive right in, much like Paul Atreides does to that sweet, sweet gash of Channings. Bob, what do you got in store for us?
Okay, so I feel like there were some differences between the movie and the book, and I think they were all done very well for the screenplay. I think they corrected the weird points that would have been hard to see on screen. One of the big ones was for me was Aaliyah. At a point at this point she was born. She was a little child in the book, a little 3-year-old that was able to speak, and they played it off a little differently in the movie. They were Jessica was just talking to her unborn fetus, like kind of back and forth, and I thought that was kind of a cool change. That also led to Aaliyah not killing the Baron. That's a big one. It's not Paul in the book that kills the Baron. It's Aaliyah. And try to imagine that in this movie, a little 3-year-old that can speak very well and master of the knife killing the Baron at the end. I think that'd
be fucking amazing. That'd be if they showed a little baby
CGI
who can speak. Yeah, a CGI baby who can speak kill that dude. It'd be pretty funny.
Is it supposed to be funny? But yeah,
No,
You're right.
I do agree that was one of the better changes that they did. To that point, though, it makes me feel less, not the word isn't believable, but the fact that there wasn't this giant time jump like there is in the books, made me feel less that the Fremen were invested in Paul. Like he wins over their love and affection in what amounts to maybe 3 months, versus in the book it took them 2 years to gain their trust and learn their ways. So there's a little weight skew, but you got to do it for the movie. So I understand why they did it.
Yeah, I do think they sped that part up a little bit, but I do think they did it in a way which was believable. The few parts that they showed were when he brought down that ornithopter with the fucking
The
big ass gun that he had. It
yeah.
was fucking awesome. And then him. I mean, it was tasteful how fast how they showed him gain their trust.
yeah.
And then one other funny thing that I saw online, which I kind of agreed with, was going into, well, they obviously set it up for a third part, or they're gonna, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna call it Dune Messiah or call it part 3, but that third movie is probably going into the second book, which is Dune Messiah. And a few people said the problem with that is Dune Messiah isn't as good as Dune, which is a good problem because it really isn't. Do you guys agree?
It's from what I read, it's a correction to the outcry of what Dune Part 1 was. In Herbert's original intention, he presented this masterpiece as a guidebook for people not to follow religious leaders. And everyone was like, yeah, we love Paul Atreides. And he was like, oh shit, well, now I got to write the second book to kind of make my point even better, like not to do these type of things. So that was the reasoning behind Dune Messiah.
And I think that if they do move into Dune Messiah, they're going to make some major plot changes, because another big change was basically Chani's personality. Like, there was basically no personality out of her in the book as much as we got in this one. Like, she was totally okay with Paul marrying Princess Irulan and moving forward.
She also wasn't in the same room when it happened.
She
At the
she
end,
knew of she knew of Paul's plans to marry Princess Irulan and move forward.
yes. Well, I'm
willing to
saying
move
that's a
forward with it.
change. That's a change. When she found out the plans, she was in the same room and didn't know about it. So if you were that character, I think you'd be a little pissed too.
No, I think Minnie Mouse. If I went off and I like married some chick and then came back and I was like, hey, I got a wife now, and you're my concubine, I think Minnie Mouse would be fine.
Oh, she'd be cool with that. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm just like if I made this up or if this actually happened in the book too. Another thing is, remember when Jessica and Paul actually kind of first meet the Fremen and become one with like the Fremen. They start off with Paul has to do that fight with the Fremen, and he basically takes his life to be part of the crew. Do you guys
Travis.
remember that?
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Paul having to take on his wife too.
He does. He gets his
He
wife and
does.
has to take care of his kids as well.
Right. So at that point, so Paul's got
Johnny?
three at this point.
He's got one
Man.
wife from Jamis and his kids. He's got Chani, and then he's got Princess Aurelia. So yeah, he's juggling 3 women.
Damn, Paul. Damn. So I mean that's I feel like that's a huge change, and because that's how the way that they ended this last one. Johnny's like going in her own direction. I feel like of course they're gonna bring her back into the mix, but
So there you have it. Our complete Dune saga, Dunes 1 and Part 2. For our final thoughts, Bob, I'm gonna throw it to you first. As a whole, as a complete movie, watching the first one and the second one, give me your final thoughts.
I loved it. I feel like the second one, obviously better than the first, but as a whole, you needed that first one to complete the picture, and I think it gave everyone that was a fan of the book a pretty close version of it, and one that was very satisfying to watch. How about you guys?
Fred, whenever these movies come out on whether it's Max or any streaming platform, will you be sitting down on that stone couch of yours and watching Part 1 and Part 2 back to back?
Oh, for sure. 6-hour bender. I'm gonna get some taco dip or something, maybe just a big old hoagie or something, and just watch.
And your final thoughts on this?
Oh, I love Dune. They did it well. They did it well.
I'd say for me, I'm going to join you on that rock hard cold couch. Grab my popcorn bucket, lube it up with some butter.
Your Dunussy?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to get one for the boys. I mean, everyone's going to get one. Bob, you're going to get one. We're just going to fuck those buckets while we watch Part 1 and Part 2 together. Because
Can't wait.
I think they did master this. They did. I think it was a faithful adaptation of page to screen. I'm excited for Dune Messiah if it comes out. I should also note Dune Prophecy is coming out in, I believe, June. So we get more Dune content coming to HBO that we should be excited about.
And that's about the origin of the Bene Gesserit, correct?
Correct. Set 10,000 years before the events of the movie.
Can't wait. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, can't wait. Anyhow, thanks for watching our Duneverse. Be sure and like, follow, subscribe. Check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/movie-television. Go buy a mug. That way you can support our movie watching endeavors.
Back to cartoons, We're going back to cartoons next week.
Back to tunes.
We are the television.